And Gallatin gets the bat.
Hustle by Russell.
Here goes Marvin.
NBA TV presents NB80, a way cool look at the league in a time we'll always remember, though some might like to forget.
Could you get away with that now? No.
Afro, sideburns,
Yellow pants, plaid pants, whatever they were.
But no one can deny that the hoops will fly.
And you don't call them, you say, your mama.
All the righteous plays.
Larry Bird follows his own shot.
The freshest moves.
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
And the most excellent moments that define the decade.
A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win it! They win it!
Coming up right now is totally NB80s. And
It's totally boss.
on the previous episode of NB80s, a magic touch led the Lakers to a title.
And Magic Johnson is out there celebrating.
And the Celtics had built the Big Three into champions. It was clear that the NB80s were going to be fantastic.
Leave the special effects to the singers and the dancers.
Big men in short shorts were poised to take the association to another level.
These right here look like the shorts that my wife might wear to bed.
And as the 81-82 season got underway, a new phenomenon was catching on in Hollywood.
Showtime? La da 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 da. What do you mean?
Showtime was coming down on a fast break. Looking left. Going left.
Magic come down, boom, boom. Yo, bam, that way. I'm like, I could never figure out how Magic could do that.
I think Magic is Showtime.
It's got class, it's got style.
The style of play that he had made that team Showtime.
Showtime!
Fast and furious.
You almost got tired looking at them because it almost felt like you were looking at a tennis match.
James Worthy, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jamal Wilkes. Oh, I'll say it was fun.
Magic is straight down the middle. Oh! Highlight film.
It was like 3D before it even came out.
We just happened to be right next door to Hollywood.
You don't miss a Laker game if you're in LA. And it was like how people rush home now to see Dancing with the Stars.
Magic. The crowd will be talking about that for a week.
You're watching Magic, and you're watching Kareem, you're watching Worthy, but you're also watching Jack Nicholson and Diane Cannon. You're like, hey, I saw that guy in that movie last week.
Not since James Brown at the Apollo did you have this kind of entertainment.
As if there wasn't enough flair on the court, Showtime got even more style from the man calling the shots on the sideline.
Pat Riley. Italian suits and the smell of leather comes to mind.
Pat Riley's always been the smoothest and the coolest.
He may be one of those guys that had 50 of the same suits hanging in his closet because it looked like he had the same one on every night.
First dude to ever make me want to wear a Taylor suit. Come on now.
I was of the Sonny Bono look back in the early 70s. One day in 1978 or 79, I didn't do anything but comb my hair straight back.
How's my Pat Riley look?
I wish I had slick hair too. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to comb it back. It wouldn't live. Come on, PR in the building.
Pat Riley was the coach that I dressed well, and I'm a basketball genius.
He's all about basketball, he's all about winning, and he's all about doing it in the right way.
That's what it's about.
The flow of young stars into the NBA continued with the likes of Mark Aguirre, Rolando Blackman, and Tom Chambers.
Wow, that's right. Mark Aguirre.
Ro Blackman, one of the best shooters ever played in the game. Tom Chambers made me want to be a big guy that could go to the hoop.
And in Motown, they got into the groove with a new front man.
Isaiah Thomas of the University of Indiana.
Looked like he was like 14 when he was drafted. He looked soft.
He tried to give off like he was such a good guy. He had that nice little smile. The honey of your smile. If you talk about a stone cold killer.
Back come the Pistons. Isaiah quickly up the right side. Screen from Dantley on Coulter. Isaiah.
He was the first guy to really bring that city attitude to that position at the point. Not only that I'm going to beat you, I'm going to embarrass you while I beat you.
Now comes back toward the lane, to the hoop, up in, off the glass, and he's fouled. Holy cow.
He's the only guy I've seen stand in the middle of 5 guys and dribble the basketball. You can't touch him. You're wondering, how in the hell is he doing this?
I remember he did that move where that layup where he threw it to himself. No one's ever done that still. And if they did, they didn't do it, make it look as good. He did it in a game.
There's never been anybody as dynamic and dominant an offensive force at that size in NBA history.
But the top rookie in the class of '82 was a young buck, actually named Buck.
We're taking Buck Williams.
One of the meanest, toughest guys ever in the NBA.
I would always tell players, if you're not a man enough to do it off the floor, don't do it on the floor.
Herb, keep it up. One more time. One more time, we're going to go in the hallway.
Yes, he's the strongest man in the league and maybe the strongest man ever to play in the NBA.
Just kind of like, I'm a little scared of you because you got muscle. You don't have sports muscle. You got, I've been lifting some weight muscle.
This guy's scared.
Buck Williams, hammer time.
Buck! He didn't take no jump. And if your name Buck, do you really want that? Your man Buck looking for you. I ain't say nothing about Buck.
Rabbits with the little pearl diver glasses.
Now these are perfect. You should get fined if you wear real glasses in the game and you tape them.
To go a whole season and not score under 100 points, that's amazing.
100 points a game for a whole season. Bing, 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 bing.
Bam, bam, bam. First one to 1,000.
Who was on that squad in Denver? Who was that, Dan Issel?
His whole front, all his furniture in the front was gone.
I only took my teeth out when I played, but I think a lot of people thought I just didn't have teeth the whole time.
Yeah, David Thompson, too.
My nickname was the Skywalker. Of course, I had the 44-inch vertical leap.
Kiki Vanderway, oh my God.
He scores it, and what a move by Vanderway.
Now it's English.
Look at English! Turned around by English.
We still had a little bit of that ABA in us, where we got up and down the court.
They're playing at altitude, and they basically said, we are going to run you until you can't breathe anymore.
And your chest is burning.
Cats are like, time out! Oh!
Denver, you could say you could run up some scores.
To run it up in Denver, the Nuggets were relying on altitude, but in Philly, the weapon of choice was Andrew Toney's attitude.
He was vicious.
In that first step,
He would just blow by anybody.
Yeah. He would jab step you, and then step back. Andrew Toney was bad.
I just try to utilize my offensive ability to the utmost.
Andrew Toney, a.k.a. the Boston Strangler.
I remember him just tearing the Celtics apart.
Toney against Bird. What a move.
He loved to play against the Celtics.
Andrew Toney over Maxwell. Basket counts and a foul. Andrew Toney.
Feared Andrew Toney even more than Michael Jordan.
Some people say that when he's on the mark, he's unstoppable.
Oh, God.
As the Boston Strangler was finishing off the Celtics in Game 7 of the conference finals, a rallying cry was born in Boston Garden.
Was it LA sucks? Beat LA?
Beat LA.
Beat LA.
You hear the crowd is chanting to the Sixers? Beat LA.
Beat LA, that's great.
It was like the Boston fans and the Sixers united for a moment because the Boston fans were like, okay, we lost, and now we want you to beat LA.
They had enough class to say, hey, we ain't so mad that y'all beat us, y'all just outplayed us this time.
You truly made us feel good. That truly showed me a great deal of class.
Respectful nature of the Boston fans.
Haters everywhere. Even when they're not playing LA, just hate.
While Andrew Toney became a cult figure with the Sixers, an unlikely hero was redefining the role in Los Angeles.
Rabbits with the little pearl diver glasses.
Now these are perfect. You should get fined if you wear real glasses in the game and you tape them.
He was the total end of the spectrum from Showtime with the Lakers.
Come on, guys, let's go snorkeling. He couldn't jump. He wasn't a scorer.
He was broccoli on a plate of beautiful food.
You know, he's not even Superman. You got Clark Kent.
What a hustle by Kurt Rambis.
His only job was to rebound the ball, don't shoot the ball. When you touch the ball, give it to someone else.
The key to the fast break was Kurt Rambis. Kurt Rambis would get that ball in faster than anybody I've ever seen.
Super play by Kurt. He knew Rambis wasn't giving him 30, but he knew Rambis was going to give him dirty.
He wasn't the super duper star, but Kurt Rambis dove on the floor.
He was reckless endangerment.
Showtime needed that lunch pail guy, and he was it.
The second showdown in 3 seasons between the Sixers and the Lakers would produce the same old, same old.
From the Spectrum in Philadelphia, this is it. The battle for the supremacy of basketball, the championship of the world.
There's no greater way to give a face for sports unless you have a rivalry.
He was the beast from the East, and he was the best from the West.
High scoring, sparks flying again, and after that last tick of the clock.
3, 2, 1, the Lakers are the world champions.
I had one of the widest smiles that I've ever had in my life on my face. I finally done it.
Hey, this is the happiest moment in my life right now. It's taken me 10 years to get here, and I'm finally here. Come here, boy. Yeah, I finally got one.
The first story I have to tell you is a story that I can't believe people didn't know. How I got the name Chocolate Thunder. There was a guy, a very famous musician, that used to come to the games in Los Angeles and other places. He would pop up at games. He had a guy with him. The guy would be sitting beside him, telling him what's going on. Hey, the big chocolate guy just put down a thunder dunk, or Doc just put down a monster dunk. So they came to the locker room. They said, hey, this guy want to come in to talk to you. I said, what guy? He's a musician, hold on. Stevie Wonder walks in. He walks in, he's shaking everybody's hand, and he comes over to me and they say, this is the guy here that every guy was telling you about putting down the big dunks. And all he did was sit there and he said, Chocolate Thunder. That's how I got the nickname. So I said, if a man never saw me and has a vision to call me Chocolate Thunder, I can wear that.
Some nicknames just fit, like the one hung on Wayne Rollins.
Wayne Rollins? Who's that?
Tree Rollins.
Tree Rollins. Tree Rollins?
Out of the way by the 3.
There were so many things he could do.
Block shots, rebound.
And again, Rollins blocked.
Tough competitor.
You got in his way, but if there was a spare part, he might inhale it. Just ask Danny Ainge.
Oh, man, you know what? I think I broke 3 or 4 fingers. He kept trying to block my dunks.
He shut down the lane. When you beat those guys, you knew you were going into the big fella.
If you thought challenging Tree was scary, then some of the sideline fashions of the 80s were flat out frightening.
This is Mike Fratello. Here are a few other coaches who felt how they dressed was very important on the sideline. Gene Shue, a little bit of a throwback. Not sure many times exactly what Gene was trying to do with what he was wearing that particular night. He may have not been sure what he was doing that particular night. I'm not sure that Frank spent a whole lot of time every day wondering, what am I going to wear for the game tonight? If it fit, Frank put it on, he wore it, he coached his team well. You probably remember Dr. Jack Ramsey from the way he walked across the floor. He was stalking his opponent. When the game was over, he walked off with those plaid pants, red jacket. Chuck Daly may have been at the top of the list. Nobody appreciated clothes more than Chuck Daly did. He truly loved dressing well and looking good. He always said, you can't go wrong in a blue suit. Doug could care less what he wore, and he could care if he wore it every night. If it still fit him, if it wasn't falling apart, Doug would wear it. It was like, who cares what I'm wearing? I care about winning basketball games. And those are just some of the coaching fashion statements of the 80s.
Now we go from bad looks to one of the baddest men of the Nba80s.
Artist Gilmore.
My mentor.
This is a big man who was a presence. He could score whenever he had to score, block shots, rebound the basketball, be an intimidator.
I remember just always staring at Artist Gilmore because of how he had Afro sideburns.
And I was like, this man has afro sideburns.
Artis Gilmore was so strong. He went for a dunk one night and Calvin Murphy jumped on his back. Artis completed the dunk. Came down in a full squat. Had Calvin on his back. I said, you all right, little fella?
He just looked so intimidating. He looked so menacing. And he played like it too.
Ain't nothing to talk about raw. He would have been the real Shaft if he could have been.
At 7'2", Artis made a giant statement, while over in Milwaukee, the team was quietly making one of its own.
I think the Bucks were kind of the forgotten story of the 80s.
When you went into Milwaukee, you knew two things was gonna happen. It was gonna be cold, and you had to face Moncrief.
Moncrief on the drive. Great shot. What a move.
He was truly one of those guys who was gifted on both ends of the floor.
Personified 80s basketball, rugged, tough, hardcore.
If you didn't bring your lunch pail and you weren't ready to work for 48 minutes, he was going to embarrass you.
Breakneck pace. Underneath they go. There's Moncrief. They got it inside, and he did a 180 in the air to get that ball loose. How did he do that?
He was a great defender.
Swiped right back by Milwaukee. Sidney Moncrief is everywhere.
You could put him on people to shut him down at the defensive end of the floor.
I'm playing quite a few minutes per ball game. So my biggest joy is sleeping right now.
You talk about a guy that's doing everything every night. Sidney Moncrief was a guy.
Milwaukee's team was talented.
And Don Nelson's the coach.
In a long, cold winter, Don Nelson, except that the Bucks have tried to keep things pretty warm, and they've done a nice job.
Nelly had his own way of dressing. I don't think Nelly ever was concerned on how he looked.
You know, he looked like a schlepper most of the career.
He didn't really care. He was about coaching. Don Nelson wanted to win an NBA championship.
And Milwaukee has defeated the Boston Celtics. They'll advance to the next round.
The league was loaded, and I mean, if you didn't come ready to play, you could be beaten. And Milwaukee's considered one of the top teams in the East.
You had Marcus Johnson, Bob Lanier, Paul Pressey.
That's one of the first teams that I remember playing the style of basketball that we play today.
The Laker girls were incredible. They defined what Showtime was.
I remember going around the league. It was, you LA people with those Laker girls.
I thought it gave it a better feeling overall.
Start talking about the Laker girls. Now that's a distraction.
Laker girls were pretty nice.
They could dance. They were good.
You know, girls wasn't that fine everywhere. You wasn't getting that in Minnesota.
When you're a high school senior and you go to a Laker game and you see the Laker girls, you just kind of shake your head.
They were incredible. They were pretty. They were hot. People wanted to be like them. Man, it was off the chain.
Reggie Theus, 1, 2, 3.
Sure, there was plenty of glamour in LA, but there was a leading man lighting it up for Chicago.
Reggie Theus looked like he could have been an actor on Miami Vice.
I've been doing some acting classes and things of that nature.
Whatever works for you, baby. He had a jumper, though, I'll tell you that.
Here are the players, and Reggie connects.
Reggie was all GQ, pretty boy with the eyes and all that.
And the ladies love Reggie.
Number 24, Reggie Theus.
I don't think he had a jerk curl. I think he just had that nice, he had what you call good hair.
Now see, Reggie, that's natural curl. Reggie still has those curls. They're just a little gray now.
Let's see, one word with 9 letters to sum up the Nba80's.
It's fantastic.
Hi, the NBA is fantastic. Yeah, I remember that. Oh my God.
The NBA, it's fantastic.
If you happen to be recording the game and you happen to get one of those commercials, it was a big deal.
Fans could relate to it. Players could kind of relate to it.
Oh, yeah, man. It's fantastic.
NBA is fantastic. Are you kidding me?
Fantastic.
Those were the days, the 80s. Can we bring those back?
Bobby Jones was a fantastic choice in '83 when they handed out the first Sixth Man of the Year award.
What a block by Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones with another one of his stupendous defensive efforts.
One of the best defenders to play the game.
Bobby Jones, baby.
Solo ride for Bobby Jones.
He would just fly out of nowhere and just block your shot off the bat.
He was phenomenal coming off the bench.
That is Bobby Jones, isn't it? He looked like Mr. Bean.
He was Dennis Rodman before Dennis Rodman came.
He was the best six man ever.
4-on-2. Bobby Jones, look at him fly. Holy mackerel.
He would turn around and run up the court, and he would go. That was his thing. Bobby Jones be like, good pass.
Philly was fully loaded when it added Moses Malone to the mix.
Oh, man, I love Moses.
Moses is singularly the greatest influence in my NBA career.
That was it. You know, we got to the doorstep and couldn't get in. We got Moses.
Malone with the offensive rebound. Is Malone strong or what?
The more they push me, I feel like the stronger I get. And I get more aggressive, then I know what I got to do.
I always loved him because it was mumbles.
He was the only player who would get 30 rebounds and 30 points, and they couldn't interview him. He was like, how you feel? Yeah.
When he'd start talking to you, you go, huh? He loved to scrum. So when you started scrumming with Moses, like, he would win that because he'd be like grabbing your arms and you couldn't move and stuff.
I just thought he overpowered everything. Maybe that's not a good word. Maybe I should have said punishing. I don't know. The hell's the difference?
I think the Lord gave me this talent to be the best. That's why I think I would name Moses.
Moses Malone. That's not even a nickname. That's his real name. Imagine you're 6'10", your name is Moses, and you can't play ball. That's a lot to live with.
What was it? And wait, Little Mo. Who else was it? The Doctor, Kevin Maloney. What was that?
Little Mo, Big Mo, the Doctor, Andrew Toney, and Ivoroni. No baloney. Sixes all the way.
I remember that.
They said Moses took us to the promised land. Like, you couldn't beat them.
The two-time MVP owned the middle, and also one of the most unique guarantees ever.
4-4-4.
I said 4-4-4.
So it's 4-4 and 5 or something like that.
4-4-4. Yeah.
With the talent that we had, I think we had the opportunity to do it.
One break for Philly. Here's the Doctor.
It was so great because I loved Moses and Doc needed help, and they just swept through.
There it goes. Cheeks on his way to the World Championship. The Moses slam dunk. Congratulate the world champion Philadelphia 76ers.
4-4-4 became, 4-5-4, and history was made.
How's it feel to get into 4 straight, though?
Oh, man. That's the best.
Come on!
This is Fab Five Freddy. Thanks for watching NB80's Volume 2.